Good evening, all you Round 14 podcast followers. Episode 26 tonight. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, my friend. 26.
Episode
26 is about the same amount of weeks you've been waiting for this week to happen.
Yeah, that is about. It's a boot. A boot.
No, it's
I
absolutely
it
amazing what's going to happen this week. For you guys who have been following you, and I'm sure you have, we've mentioned it pretty much every week for the last few weeks. Tony's got a big week coming up.
These people probably who cares? I don't care what he's doing.
No, you know what? I think it's amazing. I'm pumped for you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's not like it's you're going to a movie here. You're going to an experience, and an experience is going to be.
It's definitely going to be an experience. That's why it is called that. Experience with Experience with on Instagram. They have plenty of other stars, Mel Gibson and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Al Pacino, but it's going to be amazing. I got a large amount of pictures I'll be taking and videos and lifetime memories. So I'll be blowing up my Instagram and we'll put them on Round 14 Instagram, and then when I get back, we'll put it all together and talk about it on the show.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So we thought that, since Tony is flying out to LA this week, we thought we would, take a little bit of a dive into Rocky 3.
Yeah. Rocky 3, pretty much the only one that is not solely in Philly. I mean, it was a very brief beginning part in Philly, and then the bulk of the film was out there. So, but there was a lot going on out there. So it'll be fun to see some of their locations like I did in Philly. But Rocky 3 was, Rocky 3 is obviously he changed his body. It's when we first saw him all cut up and shredded and looking as muscular as he was for the rest of his films. Yeah. And, he comes against that opponent that, of course the movie begins with the ending of Rocky 2, like all of the Rocky films did. Well, all of them. Actually, Balboa didn't do that.
Not only that, but the start of Rocky 3 and that montage, right? With Eye of the Tiger, and the first time we hear Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, after the Rocky 2 stuff.
After he wins the title, and then it has Mickey and him in the ring, and then it cuts to Rocky Balboa, world champion, and we get this incredible montage that just makes you feel it's just amazing, right? Just watching that. Even now, even gets pumped up.
That he defended his title against, and he's getting more popular. That people are surrounding him for autographs, and he's definitely more cultured and polished looking with his cashmere coat and his coiffed hair. And like Paulie says, "Oh, look, you make your face all pretty, all handsome."
What'd you do for Paulie, eh? Nothing. You moved Mickey in?
Well, the movie opened up with Paulie destroying a pinball machine that every rockhead would kill to have.
Yeah. You buy a new house, you move Mickey in. Something wrong with me? Hey? Yeah. Some great lines. It
is. That scene in the garage is a great scene because Paulie is pouring out his heart. Like, look, man, I've been by your side through thick and thin, and you're treating me like I'm just some bum.
Yeah.
And Rocky didn't see it that way. Rocky, and partly understands that because it's not like Paulie doesn't have his flaws and his downfalls.
No, that's right.
But I could understand why Rocky would feel that way in a sense, and especially more towards Mickey. Mickey pretty much made him become the champion.
Yeah.
So it's but then he goes into his big old mansion house that he has now, not the little tiny brownstone apartment in Philly. And it's about money and material. I mean, he has cars and money and. It's a very different Rocky that we see.
It's more, definitely he's, civilized and commercialized, and he's bought into, I don't want to say the root of all evil, but, money changes people, right?
Change. I mean, in that montage that you mentioned, they're showing the Rocky plates and the t-shirts, and he's on the Muppet Show, and he's doing commercials with advertising for boots and for all this stuff. So he's definitely, he's becoming commercialized, like you said, and materialized.
Yep. So we see a lot of changes in this movie too. Obviously he is the champion in this movie and has the 10 title defenses, but, you know, and then we see the challenger, right? We see the challenger, Clubber Lang, sort of emerge in the same montage, and we see him build up.
Yeah. And that was cool how they did that too, because we didn't know who he was, obviously. Mm-hmm. He came out of nowhere. It wasn't like Apollo in Rocky II. So it was kind of cool showing him in the streets and in the dingy basement hitting his heavy bag, and he kind of got a feel for who he was and how viciously he was destroying his opponents.
Right.
So it was kind of definitely woke you up to like, man, this guy, he's a wrecking machine, like Mickey said. You know, and he's hungry. And when you see him on the steps and actually before then you see him yelling at Mickey in one of his own fights. You know, you tell him I said that, Balboa's next. You tell him. Yeah. Mickey's like, holy Christ, I don't want Rocky going against this guy.
Yeah, I think Mickey obviously he saw this well before Rocky did. He started watching. Mickey's paying attention, right? Mickey's paying attention to the ranks.
Well, sure. Not only is he paying attention, but the guy is moving up in the ranks of a contender. So it's just going without saying that as fast as he was rising in the ranks of being a contender, Mickey was forced to start paying attention to him because it was eventually going to come to that crossroad where why isn't Rocky fighting Clubber Lang? He's the number one contender. What's going on here? And Mickey was, as we know, was spoon feeding his fights to Rocky. Like he said, that the fight that you had with Apollo should have killed you.
Yeah.
And his job was to keep him winning and keep him healthy.
Yeah. And protecting him. Yep.
I mean, they weren't throne fights, but they were fighters that were probably past their prime, and they weren't as hungry and as demolishing as somebody else could have been. And Mickey was just trying to help him protect him. And of course, Rocky couldn't deal with that. What professional athlete could? Rocky was like, I can't go out knowing all this.
Yeah.
We got to fight this guy.
So we get Rocky, and in Rocky's first introduction to Clubber Lang is this retirement ceremony on the steps where they bring out the statue. So this is the first time we see the statue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The small statue's made for the movie.
So Rocky III has some pretty big moments, right? Obviously, he's the champion. He's got the statue now, the tribute from the city, right? The city is basically, accepted him for all his charity work and everything he's done over the years.
Philadelphia's favorite son. Yep.
Yeah. Rocky's going to retire. And then we see Clubber Lang publicly challenge him. And I think you knew that when he challenged him, he said, I'll fight him anytime, any place for nothing. When he says I'll fight him for nothing.
You knew that was trouble right there. And then when Clubber saw he wasn't getting anywhere because Mickey was intervening, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you're ranked, you don't get no shot. And Rocky's like, why not? Let's just go after this guy. But then when Clubber said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go after his woman. Hey woman. I'm surprised Rocky didn't flip out, just beat him up on the steps right there.
Well, it's definitely the old school mentality, right? So you don't go after the man's wife. And
you saw, his face, he snapped around because he wasn't even looking at that time.
No,
when he said, hey woman, and you saw Adrian getting very uncomfortable by what he was saying, and that's when Rocky just lost it. So that's when you knew, with or without Mickey, he was doing this.
That's right. So Mickey reluctantly agrees to train him, right? Rocky promises this will be it in the last fight, and and he's half-ass training, right? He's not taking it seriously.
Oh man, the training.
He's renting some country club.
Yeah. Talk about a joke of training. They got people everywhere. They're selling souvenirs. Girls are kissing him on the cheek while he's hitting the heavy bag.
Yeah.
It's just, which was his first wife, by the way, and that kissed him on the way. No, when he was working out, that was his first wife, Sasha. But yeah, definitely not the hardcore, like Mickey says, let's get some blood and sweat and tears in this. Why? Let's go back to the old gym. Why? What is this? You got the band playing. It was just, it was the commercialized, like you said, the materialized of what he became with money. He wasn't the down and dirty bum neighborhood gym, that he was anymore. He was a lot more polished. He was, look how he was talking even. He was even speaking better.
That's right.
So it was definitely noticeable. And with him kind of half-heartedly training, we knew that wasn't going to be a very good result for
no.
Rocky.
And then of course you get Clubber Lang, who's full on, like 100% training.
Oh, he's just
all
brutal.
out, right?
Mm-hmm. He's grunting and screaming and pull-ups in the basement on the bars of the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
He was just, he's just a big guy. He's strong. There's no finesse. There was no boxing. He's not an Apollo Creed by any means.
Yeah. And then we have one of the biggest moments, and not a great moment in the franchise, right before their fight.
Right before the fight, he gets knocked down. Well, first he gets knocked down the steps, and Rocky goes out to fight Clubber.
Yeah.
And then comes back. Even Apollo's like, come on, Rock, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's knock this bum out. But his head wasn't in it. Besides his head not being in it because Mickey went down like he did. Obviously, he wasn't trained well enough to fight. I mean, he did come out the first round. He came out swinging like he was going to do some damage. Yeah. But eventually he didn't prepare himself.
No. And then he's got Mickey in the back, right? They're doing CPR on him. His head's not in it. They probably should have just called the fight. They should never even went out there, but Mickey wasn't going to have it, right? Yeah. He said, you go out there and you do what you're supposed to do.
Right. And that was the sad part too, when he finally did come back and, it was kind of sad. Like, he didn't tell him he lost. He said, well, he told him what happened, but he didn't tell him that he lost. He didn't tell him it was him that was knocked out.
No.
He's like, it was a knockout in the third round. And, I see. We did it. We did. Yeah, we did. He didn't want to, I think he knew this was not good. Mickey was probably not going to make it. And I don't know about you, man. I saw this in the theater. I was 16, and I had to leave school a little early that day. And but I cried like a little baby.
Yeah,
sitting in that theater when Mickey died. I mean, I was by myself. There was a handful of people in the theater because it was a matinee. Right, there wasn't many matinees going on.
Yeah,
and but oh man, that hit home. And I don't know if I was maybe too young to see it coming, because if you look at it now, you knew kind of something had to give in Rocky 3 for Rocky to wake up and not be as soft as he was.
Right.
But I didn't think they were going to kill Mickey when I first saw it. I didn't think that was going to happen. Yeah.
Well, I mean, very emotional scene, right? When you lose Mickey, even now, even when you watch it, I don't know how many times you watch Rocky 3, but just, it's coming, and it still gets you, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, he yells, we got more to do. It just hits home. Yeah. It was his father figure. It was, he was nobody when he met him, and they made everything together. It was heart wrenching. It was a horrible scene. Adrian's crying. Paulie's even upset. I mean, it was a well done and very sad scene.
Yeah.
But something had to give in Rocky's world, and it wasn't going to be Adrian. No, not yet, which they were very smart to do.
Yeah.
Or he was. I shouldn't say they. Sly was very smart to do. So you knew somebody had to go, and with all due respect to Paulie, it wouldn't have mattered if they killed him off just that. So it had to be Mickey.
Well, that's just it, right? So his title's in the hands of a new champion. Yeah, he's done. Mickey's gone. Cue Apollo.
Yeah, right. I mean, after he's driving around the city, kind of feeling bad for himself. That meeting in Mickey's gym where Apollo comes in, and I thought I'd find you here, and talks to him, and I got a plan. And I think Apollo did it for a few reasons. I think Apollo liked and respected Rocky. Well, I don't think. I know he did. And I know that he thought Rocky could do better.
Right.
And he did, and he performed. I also think it was a little bit pride in Apollo, that he not only wanted his favor, but I think that to train Rocky and show he still had it and still make a champion, it was so well done to make Apollo be that character and come back. It really was so well written, so well done by the great Carl Weathers. Says, I got a get back plan, and You know, but when we're through, you owe me a favor. And of course,
well, that's
who's not thinking about the favor throughout the entire film?
Yeah. Yeah. What favor?
I mean, I was. I know you were. Yeah. Everybody, what favor? What you talking about?
Yeah.
What favor?
Right. But even before that, like just the whole conversation, just the two of them in a darkened gym, right? And, you know, Rocky's kind of leaned against the ring and he said, you know, if the papers knew we were talking like this, they think we were crazy, right? Yeah. And everybody would think they were crazy,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Even when they announced it.
But then Apollo comes through. I mean, Apollo's very smart, very articulate. And, you know, when you beat me, you know, you had the eye of the tiger, the edge.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to get it back. And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. Yeah. And he knew that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Rocky still wasn't even listening to him, obviously.
No.
For the beginning, he was half-heartedly doing that. And he was thinking between the setups that Mickey gave him and now Mickey's gone and Clubber almost beat him to death. I'm done.
And I think when he started training with Apollo, he did it because everybody expected him to have the rematch. Whether he wanted it or not, he was doing what people thought he should do. Right. Apollo thought he should do it. The fans obviously thought I should do it.
Right.
Adrian, not so much maybe, but she was with him, you know, and then we get one of the most iconic, breakdowns again and where it's just Rocky and Adrian on the beach. Right. So
great scene. Fantastic scene. Adrian finally blossoms into how strong she really is. When they do the race in Santa Monica Beach, which is in California, she sees and Apollo knows it's over.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the way she opens it up, I want to ask you, why did we come here?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? Why are we bothering with this? And I love how she just takes control of the whole speech. If you want it to be over, I'm glad, but you need to be over for the right reasons. Yeah. She wasn't having it. She's like, look, I don't care. You want to stop? We got cars, we got money, we got everything but the truth.
And she's not telling him. She's yelling at him, right? No. She's in his face.
No, she's like, I don't care what the reason is, Rock.
Yeah.
But it needs to be the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? What's going on?
What's the truth? Damn it.
You know, and he finally screams and admits it. I'm afraid. Yeah. I mean, that's a blow right there to hear your heroes, you know. It's like Superman, Batman saying they're afraid of something.
Well, even him, right? Even him, he says, I'm afraid. And she's like, what? So what? You're human, aren't you? Yeah. Right? And he can't accept it, right? He's this macho boxer that is afraid, right? Sure. And she breaks him down and, you know, they eventually, you're in it, right? The two of them are in it together. And she says, it's just going to be us. When
all the smoke is cleared, everybody's through chanting your name. It's just going to be us.
Yeah.
And she was right. I mean, look, you know, you got to do this for the right reasons, not for the guilt over Mickey, not for the money, not for the people, not for the top, but for you.
Sure.
And that's why he did it in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's why he did it in Rocky. He did it for him to show that he was not another bum from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for the people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say he didn't do it for Adrian, but she didn't play it was more him. And this is what she was telling him. Like, look, man, you got to do this for you. Don't go blaming anybody.
That's right. So now he's on board. Rocky's 100% on board, right?
Oh, you know, he's once she said, you know, he goes, how'd you get so tough? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then we see full of montages, this movie, right? We see Rocky and Apollo training together, right?
Love it. And behind them, the Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
On Santa Monica Beach in California. So they're racing now and then they're doing their jump roping and they're boxing and just, you know, great montage, like you said, great training sequence.
Yep.
Of course. And, he's all in now. And Apollo's training him how to be a different fighter. Apollo's training him how to be a boxer.
Right. No skills, right? Just a bruiser,
not a fighter, right? Not a bruiser, a boxer. And of course, Clubber did not expect that.
No.
You know, you almost want to compare Clubber to a Mike Tyson type of boxer.
Right.
So there you go. Right before the fight itself, you know, Rocky finally pours on the speed and beats Apollo Racing, which I hate to question that authenticity, but Carl Weathers played
Tony Hart.
Carl Weathers played for the Raiders.
Right. So then we get the rematch, right?
Yeah. So then he gets the rematch and he goes in there and he's hitting him with jabs like a jackhammer. I mean, he's just boom, 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 dancing around the ring. I mean, like I said, it's like Mike Tyson coming across Holyfield. Holyfield was a boxer. He could dance and jab and stick and jab. Right. And, now if Tyson caught him, he's going to put him on the ground.
Yeah. But, and even the announcers in the fight, right? Like, this is not the Rocky we expected, right? Like, he looks like a middleweight, right? He's all trim and he's shredded.
He's lean as hell.
And he's moving and he's got the hands moving. And
he's
they even said it in the movie.
Jabbing his leg, it's right? Just, he wasn't expecting it.
And Bill Baldwin says, he even says, Rocky doesn't have any skill, right? He doesn't even have any skill as a boxer, but look at him now. He looks all loose and Paul's got him fighting different, right? So.
Yep. And that definitely threw off Clubber and the damage was done. He definitely took it to Clubber and Clubber went down. And in the shortest fight of the Rocky trilogy at the time. Yeah. But the Rocky, world.
Right.
Movies.
Even the franchise. But even when Paulo and Duke were watching the film of the first fight, right? He says the pace we got to set Rock at is 7 or 8 rounds. Yeah. Because we'll be out of steam, man. You can't take him 15 rounds, right? Even though Mickey said before, this bum has never been 15 rounds before.
Well, sure. He'd never been 15 rounds because he's clobbered every opponent he had. You saw he was swinging.
Yep.
He was swinging. You almost felt the breeze go by your face in the theater.
Yeah. That's
right.
If
he connected with you, that's just a beast of a man. You heard Duke say it. It's like, man, that club is strong.
Yep.
And he was just swinging roundhouses.
Right.
And, he connects with that thing and knock your head off.
No, that's right. So next week, Tony will be in LA, Wednesday, right? When this, as we're showing this,
when this airs this
You'll
Wednesday,
be in the air.
I will be in LA.
Right.
No, when this airs, I'll actually be there.
Okay. So then we thought we would go over some of the locations from Rocky 3, that Tony hopefully will get to and, get to witness. And like you said, it's like with the first time of the Rocky steps, right? It's kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of fun. And especially with it being California, more than likely I will not be back out there again. Mm-hmm. Philly at least has more of a shot of coming back to Philly. Mm-hmm. But California, probably not back out there after this.
So in Rocky 3, after Clubber, wins the title and you see the scene, where Paulo and Rocky are watching the news conference, if you will. Okay. We see the outside of Rocky's house. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or what was supposed to be Rocky's house. So
from what I read, that was actually Muhammad Ali's real house.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why it changed in, Rocky 5. People were all like, how come the house is different? And we don't know the story if they sold it or wasn't able to film there. Yeah. But this is hopefully a location that you will visit next week.
We'll see. There's the address right there. So I'm going
to, the limo, that's Tony in the limo right there out front.
Me.
So
yeah, hopefully I'll be able to pull up front. I have a feeling it might be in a gated community by the looks of that house.
Yeah.
But
well, round 14 is picking up the tab on the limo. So, enjoy yourself. I'll get the bill, I'm sure. So
there you go.
But that's the first spot. Now the second spot, was kind of a fun spot.
Yeah, right? This one here, the Hotel Lorraine, where Paulie yells down to the Sterno bums.
Oh my goodness, right? Well, as soon as they get out of the car, right? He goes, "Why? What are we doing here? This place has got no class, right? Below you and the sister standards." So he gets out.
I tried really hard to find the address of Tough Jim.
Yeah.
And I can't find it anywhere. You
never know. It might be right across the street. Looks like you just have to walk down the alley.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to have to dig around. I might have to dig around some more on Google, or maybe anybody that's listening could message me and let me know if they have an address. Mm-hmm. But I tried really hard to find it, and no address is available. They'll tell me where it was, which I know it's in LA. Mm-hmm. But again, it was just a sign, so they might have used that for just exteriors.
Yeah,
and the interiors were done somewhere else. I don't know.
Sure. Now, speaking of Tough Jim, you mentioned to me earlier that you're going to go to Gold's Gym.
I am. I figured our hotel is literally walking distance to Venice Beach.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to be in California again, probably. Why not go to the Mecca of working out and training and iron, and Gold's Gym is on Venice Beach, is Muscle Beach, is the Mecca of the exercise worlds, where Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu and all those guys. I mean, this is going way back to the 70s. They were right there on the beach, right there and you can buy a day pass. So I already planned on buying a day pass and getting my training in right there. I'm sure I won't be lifting as much heavy weights as they are, but I'll still could say I worked out there. So I'll be training that day, looking at the big gold dumbbells and see what the place is like. It's going to be kind of cool. Who knows who'll be working out there? Maybe.
Well, you never know, right? Arnold still works out there quite often, right? He'll ride his bike.
I've heard that. I've read that he does. He rides his bike over there and still trains there. Some of the other guys still train there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, that's going to be great. And then, you can make your way out to, like I said, we talked about, a lot of the scenes on the beach, for Rocky 3, right? So here's
and that's
the shot from Rocky 3.
Santa Monica Beach right there. That's past. So it's further north of Venice Beach. And that's we'll be going there. That scene right there behind them is the Santa Monica Pier. So Rocky and Apollo are running towards the pier. So we'll be going on that beach. I am not going to be wearing a yellow tank top with black shorts. I know you're very upset about that.
Well, I thought that would be a nice promo for the show, but,
I have something similar, that I'll be able to work out, but considering it's going to be like 64 degrees when I get there.
Oh, beauty day.
I'm not going to be wearing a tank top and shorts.
That's just what we call up here in Canada, a lovely day at the beach.
Daytime highs are going to be 60 to 64, and then nighttime is going to be 42 to 45.
Beautiful. Sounds like a great day.
Yeah. Good
and
stuff.
Then, of course, we talked about this. This is.
Yeah, and that's where Adrian and him get in, into their argument / discussion, speech. So it's the same beach, obviously, where they raced.
Yeah.
Right down the street. I heard, they said it's like, 50 yards north of the pier itself. So, I mean, the pier is tons of movies have been filmed at that actual pier. Right. Forrest Gump ran to the end of that pier. I know that Iron Man flew over that pier when he was testing it. So there's a lot of movies that have the Santa Monica Pier in it. So it'll be fun to see.
No, that's right. And then Saturday is the big day. Saturday, December 10th.
Saturday's the day where the man himself comes out. I got the itinerary sent to me, the dinner options that are going to be there, and it all starts at about 6:00, and it goes till about 10:30.
Right.
So it's most of it is pre-dinner, dinner, auction, interview, Q&A, picture taking. All right, everybody get out.
Don't leave your tickets on the kitchen counter. Whatever you do, make sure you pack your tickets.
Well, they're on my phone anyway, but
there you go. There you go.
I won't
be kind of embarrassing to get to LA and realize your tickets are in Florida.
My God. I would run to the nearest Kinko's and be like, "You're opening a printer right now."
Yeah, I'll buy a printer if I have to.
All right, I tell you.
Hook it up to the phone. So
that's going to be cool. And unfortunately, I did read the rules of the event, and there'll be 0% chance of me being able to bring that boxing glove.
So no glove. You're no glove in. So
I can't. I mean, I'm going to bring it to California.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping maybe because I know that his friend Richie Palmer owns Mulberry Street Pizza.
Yep.
I know he eats there a lot.
Sure.
And also,
you might as well, right? So
also Cafe Roma.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring the boxing glove to California when I'm wandering around Beverly Hills the next day.
Yeah.
Because we'll be going to Beverly Hills the day after that.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, not that he couldn't fly home that day. Of course he could. I mean, he has a private jet. But you never know. He might take the extra day and just go to grab pizza on Sunday. And I'm going to bring it with me anyway.
You lose nothing by having it with you.
Right. But inside the event, I was reading it, and there's literally – it's not even like, well, maybe I could – no, there's 0% chance.
Yeah.
They're like, you cannot have a bag. If you have a bag or any items at all, they ask us to either leave them on the table, when we go take our picture, or they take them when we go take the picture, and then they give them back after the picture.
Good. And then they do have items, right?
Yes, they have a few things. They have a silent auction of a bunch of items. They have Rocky IV's jacket. They have Rocky III's training jacket. They have Rambo's Rambo knife, I believe it is. They have boxing gloves. They have John Rivoli's painting. Is not the prints that you and I own. Is painting on canvas is going to be signed and auctioned off.
Sure.
I doubt I'll have the money for that one, but I hope that goes for a lot of money for those guys. But I'm going to throw a couple in there. Who knows? We'll see. I doubt I'll be able to walk away with it. But they also have a raffle,
right,
where you could buy tickets. It's like 5 tickets for $20 or 20 tickets for $50. And you could win the picture you have signed. They would mount on a matting.
Okay.
Sly will sign the matting.
Sure.
You could win that. You could win a boxing glove. You could win a movie poster. So we'll see. I'll do that for $50. I'll buy 20 tickets.
No, that's great. Well, you have the round 14 credit card. So,
yeah, that's a tax write-off.
Yeah. And, I'm sure that's good for some tickets and maybe a memorabilia. And no, it's going to be fantastic. And like I said, we don't take this up very lightly because this isn't like an everyday thing where you're going to see a movie that, the new movie, you're going to see Sly and we got to celebrate.
Right. I mean,
that.
this isn't something that, we're going there. We're kind of hoping we run into him at the pizza place or something. This is a guarantee.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about before, I know some people, would prefer a good backstory, but I'm okay with this story. It's guaranteed I get to meet the man, shake his hand and thank him for what he's done for me 46 years and get a nice picture out of it as well. And also on round 14, we don't just talk Rocky or Sly. So on that note, we also are driving down to San Diego and we're going to see the Top Gun house.
Right.
We're going to see the Top Gun bar where they sang Great Balls of Fire. And we're going to go see the naval base.
Yeah.
Not on the naval base, of course, but we're going to go see where the naval base is.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a lot of Top Gun / Top Gun Maverick locations. So that'll be fun. I'll be posting those as well. That'll be a good time.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you've got the experience with Sly. You've got Gold's Gym. You got Top Gun. Boy, you're going to need a vacation when you get home. Yeah. And they were in Hollywood. We'll be seeing the Hollywood Walk of Fame and of course the theater with the handprints and the Hollywood stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I'm sure I'll have plenty of pictures to share with everybody. No, absolutely. And we'll pass them along. We'll steal some of Tony's pictures and put them up on the round 14 and
absolutely.
We'll certainly discuss it, when you get back and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. I get back on Monday the 12th. So Tuesday the 13th, I'll be back, cause I get in late on the 12th on Monday. But Tuesday the 13th, we could put this all together and put it on the show for Wednesday. And hope everybody enjoys it. I mean, I know it sounds like we're just boasting about what I'm doing, but I kind of feel like
it's like I said, it's a huge thing. If it was me, we'd have about 6 shows in a week.
If it was you, sure. But I also feel it's kind of fun. We have a lot of people in our Rocky community that we're friendly with. That when I'm there, if I do a live or if I do pictures and videos, then I am kind of the eyes and ears of, like when I was at Hulk Hogan's place, people were watching it with me, seeing it because they're not there, they're unable to be there. So it'll be fun to kind of bring that to their living room and show them what I'm seeing, whether it be live or video or pictures or whatever it is I'm showing them.
Well, even when you went to Colorado and you did the running up the mountain, what, you have about 20 coats on that day?
It was the altitude messed me up more than the cold.
What was the temperature?
The temperature was 11.
11. So 11 is.
But that was on most of the days. Like there was a couple of days it was -5.
Yeah.
So but for the most time it was 11 Fahrenheit.
That's about -20 here. That's
11 degrees
for maybe a hoodie and maybe a toque.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't the cold that was bothering me. I really wasn't that cold. I mean, I did have a jacket on, of course. I had my head fleece thing. I had to wear a helmet and stuff. I went dog sledding. So you know, you're driving you around and whatnot. But it was more so that damn altitude. That's what messed me up more than the cold. Yeah. The cold, it wasn't windy. So it didn't feel colder than it was. Now, if I had my exposed skin, it probably would have felt cold.
Sure.
But I said that when I was there, I gave Sly a lot of, I know he filmed it in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Mm-hmm. It wasn't high, altitude like I was in it, but it's still high altitude.
Sure.
And it's still cold as hell.
Yeah.
So I got to give the man even more credit than I used to give him, because I was just walking around doing that stuff and I was like, whew, it's tiring.
He's running up and down the mountain. So,
but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And who knows? Maybe I'll run into Dolph Lundgren or someone else. Who knows? I mean,
well, you never know, right? The stars are out, and it's gonna be an absolute great time. But it's fun. It's fun just kind of talk some Rocky 3 because of the locations that you're going to, right? And then, and then to see some of the pictures afterwards. And like I said, it's kind of surreal when you go to the Rocky steps. You know, you can actually go to these locations that they film the movies, because back in the day they didn't have the CGI, right? They actually went to different locations, and this is fun. This is good.
Exactly. And more so too, like we've already discussed before, and we've heard numerous other podcasts talk about it before. Yeah. You know, I can't go drive the Batmobile to experience being Batman. I can't lightsaber with Darth Vader and whatever the case may be, but you know, to experience literally running up those stairs, or running on that beach, or whatever it may be that's from the film, it still feels, it's cool. It makes you feel a little bit more of a connection.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, we're already connected to the films as it is, but it's definitely going to be a good time. So we'll see. We will see.
No, that's great. And, I just want to thank, real quick, I want to thank, Rick Babcock again. I got round 14, t-shirt on.
Oh, you do? You got the shirt on. All right.
Yeah. So more swag from our good buddy, at Bob 33.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. So maybe Tony will have a hat or something on and a picture, Gold's Gym or something, some location will have some round 14 swag on during the trip, or,
no, I plan on bringing my hat. Yeah. I plan on bringing the hat or the shirt, whichever. We throw it in the bag and we'll see what's popping along the way. I was going to bring the coaster. I told you, the metal thing that Rick made me.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask Sly to hold it and take a picture of him with it. But we're not even allowed to have the phones out or nothing.
Oh,
it's, but we'll see. No, I'm going to bring it anyway, because that I can just put in my pocket.
That's right. So, no, it's good. And, like I said, we just thought we'd come on quick, because Tony's got to get going. He's got a big couple days ahead of him, and, we're all looking forward to pictures and whatever you send us. And, everybody, like you said, in the Rocky community is excited for this and excited for you.
I appreciate it. And it did come fast, man. I remember when we first, the funny part is that we first announced it on the show, on our show. And I think it was like our second episode or something. Yeah. Or it might have been our first. I think
second or third. It was pretty close to the start. Yeah.
And it seems like 100 years ago that I said I was doing this because we bought the ticket. There was a lock. Yeah. And, it's exciting. It's fun hearing everybody get excited over it. I mean, I would be excited. I mean, I hear the stories, like you mentioned, Rick, for example. Rick's story of meeting Sly is amazing. And I get excited just hearing his story about that he did it. So it's fun. It's cool. It's going to be an experience like the website says. But it's going to be a good time. I will definitely keep everybody posted.
No, that's great. And, for anybody that wants to catch up, we do have all our episodes are on YouTube. We're also on, audio version, Last of the Action Heroes podcast network. You can find that pretty much anywhere where you download your podcast. So take us with us. Maybe a Tony will listen to one in the air. This is great. And, again, my friend, safe travels, and we look forward to seeing all your coming adventures.
I appreciate it. And I will. I mean, like I said, I'll be posting videos, pictures, and lives or whatever the case may be, from Hollywood on to whenever I'm there, and whatever you guys feel like checking out, check out. But I appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys tuning into the show, and we'll talk next week.
All right. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you.
Good night.